So is it time for a taper? Well, the process is unfolding, and so far, according to plan, from the Federal Open Market Committee not even thinking about it, to thinking about it, and now apparently to talking about it. The next step in the plan is for them to provide details to the market participants and then finally to execute. So what does it mean for investors? Let's break it down. Well, there are really three key takeaways for investors related to the taper, and one cautionary tale I'm going to add. So for the takeaways, first, the Fed took pains to remind market participants that they would continue to drop the taper breadcrumbs. There will be no surprises here, and if anything, the Fed will be late to get this program started. The market doesn't like surprises, so this is good news. Second, while we don't have a lot of history as a guide here, we can see from the last time the Fed embarked on a balance sheet reduction, interest rates actually fell. Many found that counterintuitive, but the intuition really is that even a marginal tightening of policy may have an impact on the growth outlook. Now, we've seen the same thing this time as rates have fallen pretty dramatically at the longer end of the yield curve. Now, there are a lot of reasons why, and it may not actually be a re-rating down of the growth outlook this time, given that the consensus has already called for growth to cool past the reopening surge. It could be a function of near-term concerns about the Delta variant, or also a function of Fed policy itself. Patience and letting inflation run will push down both nominal yields as well as yields adjusted for inflation, or real yields. Fed Chair Powell's recent press conference seemed to double down on that messaging. Again, we anticipate rates are going to remain low and range-bound. And last, getting to the point where there'll actually be a taper, which as a reminder simply means buying fewer bonds, so the Fed's balance sheet is going to continue to grow. This is going to just take some time, and the eventual tapering will be gradual and systematic. So for investors, it's a reminder that tapering is not tightening. Policy is going to remain accommodative. But aside from those takeaways, it's worth noting that there are growing distortions in the financial markets, and these are being potentially exacerbated by the $120 billion a month in purchases of treasuries and mortgage backs. Now, while the QE program was both necessary and sufficient to stem the financial crisis that could have happened at the onset of the pandemic, economies, markets, and most importantly, corporate balance sheets are in a much better place today. So in our view, tapering sooner rather than later makes the most sense, and we'd hope that the FOMC continues to signal progress on that front before this window of opportunity closes.